Welcome to Just You Watch Me Fix It. My name's Phillip and I'm going to build a wall along here, and I need to work out the timber, how much timber I need, and I'm going to walk you through that. It's quite a simple process really. Need to measure the distance between this side of the wall and where I want the wall to go to, and the height, and count the lengths of timber that I need. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is measure the width of the wall. So 2.2 meters. So we'll write 2.2 meters. I'd usually do a diagram. 2.2 meters wide, and the height is 2.6 meters. .6 meters high. The standard height of a ceiling is 2.4. Our ceilings are a little bit higher than that. I'm going to be building this out of framing timber of the size 90 by 45 millimeters, 90 millimeters wide by 45 millimeters thick. So I need vertical pieces of timber, one on either the left and the right sides of the wall, and then I need a vertical piece of timber every 450 throughout the middle of the wall. The vertical pieces of timber are called studs. The horizontal piece of timber at the top and the bottom that these studs will be nailed into are called top plate and bottom plate. And then the little short pieces of timber you see between the two studs is called a noggin. So I'm going to work out how many studs I need. So I need one for either side, and we'll just count 450. So that's one for the wall, one at 450, that's 2, 450, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 6 pieces of timber to form the 6 studs at 450 millimeter distances apart. So you'll start off with 450, 450, 450, 450, and this last one will be a little bit closer to the wall because it's obviously not going to work out an even 450. So 6 lengths at 2.6 meters high, and I need 2 lengths, the distance from that wall to that wall, the top and bottom plates at 2.2 meters. So 2 at 2.2 meters, and it's as simple as that. Timber framing comes in various lengths, for example 2.4, 3.6, 5.4. So if your ceilings are standard 2.4 high, you just order 2.4 lengths of timber for your framing. My ceiling is 2.6, so I'm going to get 2.6 lengths out of a 5.4. So here I've measured the top plate, and the bottom is 2 meters 195 millimeters. So I'm going to cut the bottom plate and the top plate and then fasten them into the ceiling, and then after that I'll measure the studs and fill in with those. So that's straight. For the last little bit, it's a bit bent, so I'm going to cut that end off. Measure this for the top plate. And use these blocks to pack it up. So that's the top. This is the bottom plate, 21.95. Okay. So I'm about to fasten this bottom plate to the slab. Just going to knock it into place. I've already got a measurement from that wall to the other wall, opposing wall, and I've measured that here, so I know where this end has got to go. Okay, I'm going to drill some holes through this timber, 3 holes, and then I'll use the masonry bit, drill bit, to drill into the concrete. But before I drill the holes, I'm going to work out where my studs are going so that I don't end up putting a DynaBolt in where the studs to go. So 450 centers, so 450, and I put a cross on the side that the stud goes, and another 450. Right, so that's make sure I don't put the bolts where those studs are going to go. So I'll put a bolt at either end and one in the middle.
Phillip's out back with a hammer in hand, turning old walls into something grand.
Okay, so now I've drilled through the timber, I'm going to put the masonry drill bit into the concrete, and I've got it on hammer drill. Make sure the timber is in the right place and doesn't move. It's a very hard concrete slab. Right, let's just see. So I'll drop the other bolt in now. So this is a DynaBolt. It's designed to fasten timber framing into concrete. You drill a hole through the timber into the concrete and then you knock this in. So I'll just take it apart so you can see how it works. It's got a nut on the top and a threaded shank. So you'll notice this shank is the same width until it gets to the bottom where it splays out. So as the nut is tightened on the top of the timber, it pulls this up. And as this is pulled up, it pulls up through these 2 cylinders. And you'll see here, this cylinder of metal has a split in the sides. And so as it's pulled up, you'll see what happens. It splits apart and gets wider. And that jams it in the concrete. So I'll just show you this piece of wood here. You drill the hole through the timber into the concrete. Now you need a masonry drill bit to drill into the concrete, obviously, and you knock this DynaBolt in. It's all the one thickness, and as you tighten the nut at the top, it pulls the inner shank up, which causes this wide end to splay the sides out, which jams it against the concrete, firmly holding the timber frame on the concrete floor. And tighten it off. So here we've got the DynaBolts in through the timber into the concrete slab. This one didn't catch because it was missing a collar, so I put a second one in alongside. And I'd already marked where the studs are going to go so that I didn't put these in the wrong place, and the end one there. So here I've got the bottom plate firmly fixed to the floor. Now I need to fix the top plate to the ceiling, and I need to have exact measurement on the ceiling where that's to go. Now there's two ways to do this. You can use a laser light and put the laser light and transfer the laser light will show up on the ceiling up there, and you can make a mark. Or you can use, if you haven't got a laser light, you can use a level. So it's a matter of just putting the level on the edge and adjusting the level till the bubble is in the middle between the two markers in there, and then making a mark. And then once you've made a mark there, put it on again and transfer the mark further up the wall and level. But I'm going to use a laser light because it's a bit easier, and I've got one. They're not that dear actually. So I'll set the laser light up, switch it on, and then select the vertical line and just position it so it's on this side of the timber bottom plate. Beautiful. So as you can see, or I'll move the camera so you can see it, the line goes all the way up. You may not be able to see it actually. I'll turn the light out and just see if it makes it stand out a bit clearer. And so that red line transfers onto the ceiling, and I'll make a mark on the ceiling. Now I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so I've got a mark. I've made a mark where that red light is, laser light, so I know where to put my top plate now. Now I need to work out where I can fasten the top plate to. And if you have a look close up here, you'll see in the VJ board on the ceiling, there's the mark of nails. So I know I can nail in that area there through, and the same along there. I'll be able to fire in some nails into the top plate where the joists are. So I've cut this timber so it'll fit tightly. That way I can hammer it into position and it'll hold itself in place. That's got it. Okay, that's firmly jammed in there so it doesn't thump me on the head. And it's lined up with the mark. That's good. Okay, so just a matter of nailing it in place now.
Dust on his boots, plans in his head, tools all around and a vision ahead. Lisa's inside where the screens are aglow, cutting the clips so the story flows. Coffee in hand, headphones on tight, making magic on the timeline late at night.
So now I need to just measure the studs. It's the vertical pieces of timber from the bottom plate up to the top plate, nail them in place and put some noggins across, and that's the structure of the wall built. And I've set my laser light up so it's shining a spot right down on the mark where the stud goes on the bottom plate, and that spot goes up onto the ceiling, and that tells me exactly where to mark the top plate where the stud goes. If you haven't got a laser light, you can use what they used to call a plumb bob. So I'll go along and make the marks on the top plate now where the studs go.
Oh, we fix it and film it, building dreams
workshop to the edit suite, we're making something real and sweet. Yeah, we fix it and film it, so come along and see this little YouTube world of ours where we made reality.
So I've got all my studs cut to length in place, ready to be fixed to the top and bottom plate. So now I'm just hitting the wall with the hammer to hear when the sound changes, to show where the timber is behind the wall for me to nail this stud into. That's very bouncy sound. There's possibly a bit of timber there, so mark that. Sounds solid all through there. I think we've got a stud going up vertically just along the side. There's definitely timber running through here. So you can hear the difference. This is hollow and it's bouncy. It's a higher solid sound. There's definitely timber in behind here, so I'll put an arrow there. I can definitely nail the stud into there. Okay, so we've only got really one solid spot to nail into, but I'll put some nails elsewhere. It'll hold it into this VJ board at least, but this is the only solid structural timber in behind this VJ board wall. So I'll nail that next. Okay, so I'm going to fasten the bottom of, or I'm going to nail the bottom of the stud. And I'll nail the top, and then that'll hold it in place.
Phillip's measuring twice to cut once clean, working out a way to build their dream. Patching, painting, leveling floors, always one job away from starting 10 more.
Lisa's trimming clips like a movie pro, adding the beats to the hammer blows. Thumbnails popping, the title's tied. Gonna post that upload later tonight. Oh, we fix it and film it, building dreams from the ground. Phillip's making sawdust while Lisa cuts the sound. From the workshop to the edit suite, we're making something real and sweet. Yeah, we fix it and film it, so come along and see this little YouTube world of ours where we make reality.
So you see this stud here is a little bit loose, probably because when I was hitting the other one in, it's moved the top plate slightly closer to the ceiling. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of a wedge underneath the bottom of the stud so it jams it in position, holds it in place while I nail it.
Oh, we fix it and film it, building dreams from the ground. Phillip's making sawdust while Lisa cuts the sound. From the workshop to the edit suite, we're
job to do, and that is put in the noggins. So that noggin is the short piece of the timber that's fastened to each stud in between the studs. So I'm going to be fixing 1350 wide plasterboard sheets. Okay, all I have to do now is transfer that mark across to the other studs via a level.
That's the life we choose.
Phillip builds the future,
And Lisa makes the view. So just hit that like and stick around.
there's always a fix to be found.
Yeah, we fix it and film it.
So just you wait and see. This little YouTube channel is
A home for you and me.
So I'm about to cut the noggins out of this timber. First thing is I need to make sure the end of the timber is square. So I'm going to cut a little bit off first.
fix it.
Life we choose.
Phillip builds the future.
Makes the view. So just hit that like and stick around.
There's always a fix to be found.
Fix it and film it.
So just you wait and see. This little YouTube channel is
A home for you and me.
Now you'll notice I'm putting one noggin below the line, the next noggin just above the line. That way I can nail in. That's all the noggins at the 1300 height. But I'm going to put two more noggins in at this height because my wife is looking to fasten something at that height after the wall's completed. So I'm going to put in a couple of noggins here so she's got something to fix into.
So just hit that like and stick around.
there's always a fix to be found.
Yeah, we fix it and film it.
So just you wait and see. This little YouTube channel